Standing on the edge of theoretical oblivion, gazing down into the depths of my soul and peering into the imagination of God, I could hardly believe the sight before my eyes. Philmont, New Mexico, every Boy Scout's dream, aside from Eagle Scout, is a place nestled in the mountains of northern Mexico, and it has changed my life. Our journey, my group's journey, to the top of the highest mountain in the camp began at 7,000 feet above sea level. Our target, Mount Baldy, at an elevation of 12,441 feet. I've committed this to memory. This long and arduous hike is the crown jewel of Philmont. The long march began at 4:30 in the morning in order to make it to the summit before the daily storms could move in. I have never been a morning person. This was beyond the normal pain of waking up. While packing my bag, half asleep, I began to think about the journey that we had ahead. Looked at my feet and saw the damage that had already been done from the travels earlier in the week. Quite simply put, it hurt to put socks on. Moleskin, our only defense against the epidemic of blisters, turned out to be no more useful than the plastic it was wrapped in. So, biting the bullet, I pulled on my socks and shoes and prepared to begin the hike. After we began to move, I could hardly have expected what things I would have to go through next. Our ascent began immediately from camp, climbing up an old riverbed which, soaked by the daily storms common in this area, was hard to navigate through. As our ascent continued, the air and trees got thinner, and we began to have to stop for more breaks. Our stamina began to wither. After breaking the tree line and starting on the final ascension of the summit, I began the journey towards my revelation. For each step, I slid down half of one on the loose shale. Imagine, if you will, the frustration of any progress you make being snuffed and you left with only a small accomplishment, nowhere near the effort you put in. Every step up to the summit became an accomplishment within itself. Out of breath and out of energy, I pushed myself to make it to the top, taking it one small accomplishment at a time. As I focused on the summit, the distractions began to fall away. The pain in my legs, my lungs, and blisters began to fade as the only thought in my mind was that of the goal I had set for myself. I would reach the summit a step at a time. This desire, this craving, this need to reach the top consumed me, gave me the strength to last through the eternity of the seemingly unending gauntlet in front of me. After weathering this unending journey, I reached the top, threw off my 30-pound pack, and sat down to catch my breath. My body was beaten, tired, and winded. The distractions that had gone away on the climb had come back to greet me, letting me know that I hadn't passed out on the way up, and that I really was at the summit. My legs incredibly sore, my feet stinging, and my lungs burning. I stood up to take a look over the world. I was drowned by its beauty and the masterpiece of its creation. I looked down the path that I had come and truly realized that I had accomplished something that was truly great. Only a few people in this world have climbed and made it to the top of Mount Baldy. Many have failed on the way up and as well on the way down. This adventure has shaped my life in more ways than I can list. There are many other lessons that I learned on this trip to Philmont, but this one means the most to me. I can do anything that I set my mind upon. That phrase, although slightly cliche, holds more meaning than most people know. My academic ride at TMI has been sort of a roller coaster, being on every part of the academic scale at one point or another. Levels of motivation and self-confidence in my abilities fluctuated. But I have learned that I must apply the things that I learned climbing a mountain to taking care of a mountain of schoolwork. I have learned and am still learning the finer points of self-discipline, controlling myself to take care of important things in life first. In my past and present, I have procrastinated quite a bit, leaving myself with a hole that I had dug. that was too deep for even me with a ladder to climb out of. What I have realized since is that I must take my life and school one step at a time. I need to push away the distractions that blur the view of my goal. And I have begun to do this already, in some places better than others. The fact that I am here giving my chapel talk is proof enough of some ability to control my procrastination. Emphasis on the word some. My advice to those sitting in the audience today: enjoy the things you have now. Look forward to the future, but live for today. Take advantage of the opportunities given to you. Don't procrastinate the important things in life. Remember that life is what you make it. Things may happen to you that are out of your control, but one thing that is always true: you shape your own destiny. Remember, you have the greatest single impact on your life. I'll leave you with a quote: "You're born alone and you die alone. The rest is yours to fill the gap." Go fill the gap.